Liberty Nation. Truth is making a comeback.
Hi, this is Tim Donner with LNTV. President Trump has frequently been criticized for making inflammatory statements about Robert Mueller as the special counsel investigation continues. But while the criticism has always been that Trump has been too hard on Mueller, LibertyNation.com legal affairs editor Scott Cosenza has written the opposite on LibertyNation.com, that Trump is being way too soft. And Scott is with us now. Scott, are you saying that the president should outright fire Robert Mueller right now, right here, right now?
If the president believes the contents of his own tweets, Tim, then yes, that's the case. The president, in a mini tweet storm, a pre-dawn mini tweet storm, said on Tuesday that Robert Mueller was basically violating the civil rights of Americans and acting in contravention of his oath, his prosecutorial oath, and committing crimes, federal crimes. And the president doesn't use the words suborn perjury, but the actions he describes in his tweets are suborning perjury. He has said that Robert Mueller is suborning perjury. The president, Tim, is in fact in charge of Robert Mueller. Robert Mueller works for the Department of Justice, an executive department. He works for the president of the United States. He cannot allow it to continue if he's telling the truth, meaning if he does believe that Robert Mueller is suborning perjury, then he must either fire him immediately or at least take away any powers of his office immediately while that charge is investigated.
Now, would not firing the special counsel result in even more trouble than letting Mueller finish his work? I mean, wouldn't it be widely viewed as an admission of guilt, like the famous Saturday Night Massacre with Richard Nixon that pretty much sealed his fate in Watergate?
I think that's probably true. It's an unfortunate burden of leadership, and swearing that you'll preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, that may negatively impact your political aspirations. But the president did swear that oath, and it is his duty to see that our rights are protected. And if a man that works for him is out there willy-nilly violating the rights of other Americans, as the president himself has alleged, then it's incumbent upon him to suffer those consequences while he does justice for all of us.
So what you're basically saying, 5 words: put up or shut up. In other words, either act on the accusations you're making or stop making the accusations.
I think that's fair to say, yes.
Now, Mueller has rung up dozens of indictments, big and small, from this investigation, but none of them directly related to Trump. But has he not done the same thing as Kenneth Starr and other special and independent counsels given enormous amounts of power? They're given an inch. They take a mile by constantly expanding the scope of the investigation.
Well, Congress and the president have declined to pass another independent counsel statute. They have this special counsel status. So Robert Mueller remains under the purview of the Justice Department and the Attorney General, or for what passes for an Attorney General today, and Mr. Whitaker, but under also President Trump. And it's President Trump's duty, Tim, just like if one of the several U.S. attorneys was acting inappropriately and violating the rights of Americans, if Robert Mueller is committing crimes, again, as President Trump himself has alleged, that Mueller is committing federal crimes, then it's incumbent upon Donald Trump to remove him from office immediately so that he doesn't continue to commit more crimes against Americans.
Scott, in the end, isn't the simple answer to this to just change the special counsel law once Mueller's work is done so that they don't get unlimited time and latitude to basically do anything they want? I mean, given the Starr investigation in the 90s into a Democrat president and this investigation by Mueller into a Republican president, don't you think both parties might agree to that?
That political question is hard to answer, and I think that the notion that there's any kind of a simple solution is probably not the case. One thing we can say, though, for sure, Tim, is that the president of the United States has a duty to make sure that the people who are below him in the executive don't violate the rights of Americans and perform their jobs as they're supposed to. And if the president knows and asserts, as we have in this case, that one of his charges, Robert Mueller, is actively committing federal crimes and violating the rights of Americans, then it's incumbent upon Donald Trump to do something about it. He is the chief executive.
Okay, thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Tim.
And you can read about all things legal and illegal in Scott's work on libertynation.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our libertynation.com YouTube channel. There's some very exciting things going on beyond just LNTV. I'm Tim Donner, and this is LNTV.
Visit us at libertynation.com.